I'd like to thank Hamshi for bringing this to show. This is a good example of a Lego that you probably keep around. It's our Lego you keep around. It's Varaya when what? Yeah, Varaya when Hamshi left America to come and learn in Kallus in Yerushalayim, he brought it with him. Right, so it's a big raya, or it's a raya that his wife did. But it's certainly a raya to something. So the raya, it's a very, very, very sensitive topic today that we have to talk about, which we started talking yesterday. I saw from the reactions of the tzibur that it's a very sensitive topic. The topic of curling payas on Shabbos. It seems that. It seems that Rabbi Singer didn't come in today because of the, he's here. All right, but it seems that he's not walking into the Shiur because he doesn't know what's going to happen. The truth is, I wasn't going to talk about it now, but it seems it was. I didn't realize how prevalent it was in the Chassidish Kollel that I am now the Rosh Kollel of. I didn't. But I did. Right? And it seems to be that it doesn't just go as far as the payas. It seems to be it's also in curling of the beard. As you all know, I didn't want to say this in public, but my beard, the Lemaisa, goes to my knees. Right? I just didn't want everybody to know about it. But now, because of the Shiur, I'm going to maybe in the middle maybe we'll see. Maybe something miyuchad will happen today. Let's see. But this is a big shiloh. Yesterday we saw that it's a Mefersha Gemara. The Gemara seems to say that what's the example of Baina? An example of Baina is a person that he's here. The example of Baina is that he makes a braid. He makes a braid in her hair. That's the Mefersha Gemara. The Gemara, Rabbi side, the Gemara is sad that to braid your hair on Shabbos is a deraisa. It's a deraisa. It seems to be that the sheet of the Rabbi Lazar in the Gemara is that to braid your hair is mamish is a deraisa. Why would it be a deraisa? Why would it be a deraisa? Why would it be a deraisa? To braid hair on Shabbos, why would that be a deraisa? It's not also the kiyam, right? What would be the tzad? What's the pshat in Rabbi Lazar? What's the pshat? Okay, where's Rabbi Lazar? Mastama. You have to say that Vaistais, it's like ain disfar of oil. Like I mentioned yesterday, as far that oil, if that's the derech of this structure to be a temporary structure, so then this tolda doesn't necessarily require the same gedarim and the permanence of baina is because that's the av malacha and that's the tzura to require permanence. Baina requires permanence, right? In an oil, for example, we're going to see a temporary structure. We can get the rules of oil, obviously, but you realize that it's going to be a lot less aggressive. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a braid also. If you consider it to be a boina, a binyan, of whatever that means, boina ba'adam is boina. So if you consider it to be a boina, so then maybe the requirement doesn't require that it should be ad kidei kach for a zman, whatever's the norm, that's called your boina, that's the norm of this binyan, and that's that. But that's Shitas Rabbi Eliezer. It seems like we probably paskin not like that. Even though I saw Moshe Sternbuch is mesupik, if we paskin deraisa, we pass this paskin that's not deraisa, we probably take on that it's only derabanan and that it's a baina derabanan. Vayiven esatzelas and a smachta, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu brought Chava and was kaleya her, he made her a braid, and we belt that's considered a baina. The Torah taskerif and a baina, so that's called a baina. That's a baina. Okay, but akapanim it's not what? Mishberesim and Shin Gimel, no? Let me read inside. I have one here. Yeah, Mishberesim and Shin Gimel on Siv Chavav and Pei Beis Pei Gimel. Shulchan Aruch says in Siv Chavav. Thank you. The Shulchan Aruch says Aser L'Kloya Isha Sarib Shabbos. First of all, Aser, it doesn't say Chayiv, right? Aser is Aser D'Rabbanan. Aser L'Kloya Isha Sarib Shabbos. V'Leilahatikli Aser, she can't undo her braid. She's going to be allowed to make a part. We'll have to speak about this part in a moment. Then, so the Mishabura right away. Mishabura says, Midrabanan. It's a big pillar. Moshe Sternbuch has a truth about this. And Aleph Reish Chavtes Ein Sham, maybe I misunderstood it. He has a tzad that maybe it's the rice, then later Ein Sham. His tzad that maybe paskin like the Chachamim, but that's clear in the Paiskim that the only needed is a Drabanan. And for Shteitzach, because we're saying, like it says in the Mishabura, because it's not a Davar Shel Kiyim. It's not a Davar Shel Kiyim. It's Dami Lebinyan, it's Doim Lebayin. We'll have to understand why. If you do it in a Sheitel, so then a Sheitel is not considered a binyan. We saw yesterday it's considered an oirig. You're over an oirig. If you braid a shaitel, you're over an oirig. The guy take a thing. Let's say there's a braid there, and you just want to put like a rubber band there to make sure it doesn't fall off. It doesn't open up or something like that. That I don't see what should be usher. The dias is to make the braid. The dias is not to do anything else. This is to make the braid. If the braid is there and you see it's about to open, you just want to put a rubber band there, I don't see what the dias could be. I don't see. What? I'm sorry? No, I don't think so. But Akapanim, it doesn't say it anywhere, so Mistam it's nish. But Akapanim, so interesting thing. So what's the nafkamina vayasa? If there's anybody here making a braid, I mean, it's not. So the kids. So kids, you have to, So maybe you're going to make one for your daughter, and you're going to braid her hair. Okay, so that's an issa gomer. You're not allowed to braid hair on Shabbos. You're not allowed to open the braid on Shabbos. Okay, so you do have to know this, right? But what about something which is a little bit more pressing, right? So what about payas? Are you allowed to curl your payas on Shabbos? Is the reason, I don't want to embarrass anyone today. So if I use your name or something, let's just put it like this. If I say a name, the names aren't real. And that way, if I won't embarrass anybody in case, right? But this is the reason Amram, the mashal during the week, right, doesn't curl his payas, because he's chayshish for Shabbos. Why are you looking? I said mefurish that the names here aren't real. Why are you looking at him? I told you I wasn't gonna. No, I know you don't care. But akapanim, no. And there are some chassidim that taka, you see, they don't curl the payas b'chlal. And l'chayah, what should be? You should be allowed to curl the payas in Shabbos or not, right? I'm bar. This is the reason the Litva Shailim doesn't have long payas. Right? This is one of the reasons, right? So that's a chayah. That's a chayah. So what's the ma'aseh? So Moshe Sternbach, he says that look, to go round and around and around, mamish, and to be masals to the payas. He says, look, if a braid is a binyan, so then how could this not be a binyan? A braid is a binyan. Braid is vice. What's the binyan? I guess he's understanding. What's the binyan of the payas? Is that you made this like structure? The braid is like a structure. It's this whatever. So he's saying, look, and if you curl the payas, and around and around, it goes savim. So you curl the payas. That's not more than a structure. Of course, it's a structure. So he writes. Maybe it's terais. I said that's a little bit of a pella. And he says, but akapanim, it's certainly derbanim. Maybe it means there's a bir halacha in the beginning of Shin Mem. Just one moment. Oh, it doesn't last. Somebody who doesn't know about payas is talking. But the bir halacha over here. I mean, there's a long bir halacha over here when he talks about goizes, which you have to know. This bir halacha might have a mashmayas that we paskin like Rabbi Eliezer. Akapanim, tachlis, So Rabbi Samuels asks, but it's not going to last, okay? And neither does a braid, so it's still asa d'Rabbanan, right? That's what we're saying. Why it's a rai? It's still an asa d'Rabbanan. Sorry. What has more? A braid. Okay, so now let me explain. Let me give you a little background over here. Okay, he goes on to say that when the person curls his payas, it's also secretion that hair comes out. And why are you making a face? You don't have them. You don't even know, right? You don't know. You didn't have them, right? Yeah, but you don't curl them, so you don't know. But I'm saying, who says you're neman to be made before you went off, right? It's a shayla in the Gemara Ksubis. Well, but hair does come out. Listen, I learned Gemara and I see the hair comes out, fragment, okay? But the hair comes out, right? And anyways, okay, and Rabbi say, and he wants the hair to come out because he doesn't want all those extra hair. You know how it is. He's very happy when it comes out, and he very much wants it, and whatever. And so I knew. Okay, there's other problems. He says here, Rabbi say, I know this is your sugya, but there's other problems over here, like schita, the hair is wet after the mikvah and whatever. Okay, but let's see. So I know what the Olam is going to say. They're going to say, no, you're bringing from Moshe Sternbach. He's a Litvak, and whatever, let's see. So the Shevet HaLevi, he was Chassidish? Was he Chassidish? Chatzi, okay. We'll get to the, we'll go from Na to Chatzi. So he has in the Koibitz Beis Levi over there in the 19th volume in page 50, Ois Daled, he says, it's Asr Gomer on Shabbos to Mesalsel your Cyrus. Rabbi say, it's also good. They don't know what payas are. Let me explain. You guys, this is what you guys talk about in the mikvah. They don't, right? It's also gomer to be mitzalsel your payas on Shabbos. That's what he writes. He's chatzi, they just said, right? Dayan Padva, what was he? You can't start with him. He was of the Skan Chassidim in the ganze Welt, right? So Dayan Padva, they bring down in a sefer called the Alichas and Chinuch of Dayan Padva. Over there in page Aleph, in volume Aleph, in the 80th page, he says, It's already, what do you want? The Belzer was already makbid on this. The Belzer was a chassid, no? He says the Belzer, the Halachos of Belzer means a Vala Belzer Mistama. He was already makbid that nobody should go and curl their payas on Shabbos. I think the Halachos of Belzer also doesn't, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, they just go around it. All Belzers do that? Well, no, not all. So because he says that Avada the Belzer was makbid not to because it's mamish mitzalsel on Shabbos. All right. So what's the need in here? What's the need? It says two nidayinim here. Let me explain. There's one nidin over here, and there's a Ksaisa Shulchan who talks about this in Kuf Mem Vav Oischaf Aleph. He says that look, unless he says this far. He says, look, if the payas is basically there, you're just giving it a little help or something like that. No, that's a different story. If the whole surah is there, the whole curl is there, and you're just like giving it a little pump, you're just like giving it some perm, a little, So then he says that's not called that you're making it. Maybe. He says, but our nidin is a case of where, like that. Someone told me that they come with mamish rollers and everything, right? Like the kids and everything, they have mamish rolls in the kids and all that. And what happens on Shabbos, the kids, they get all types of zach, and the roll comes out, and the mother wants to go and roll it around the roller on Shabbos. And it's like, you can't say that was already made. And so it's a big shayla. It's a big shayla. So I tell you, it's very interesting. I saw like this. You look at the Shulchan Aruch here. The Shulchan Aruch talks about this halacha. Are you allowed to part your hair? He's not talking about with a comb, because a comb is a problem. It's pulling out hair, obviously. And that. You're allowed to mamish make a part. This goes here and that goes there. Shulchan Aruch says, Mutter, the Ramah says aser. V'yesh oisrim l'chalek saira. What was it called in those days to make a part in your hair? Dahin shekayrin shaitel. The Ramah says it's called this is a shaitel. It says v'kein negel lesser ayidei kli. Aval be'etzba ba'al menagel hakol. If you're just doing like a simple, the price can explain. If you're doing it like simply over here, it's allowed. You do it like a real chashuv job, that's not allowed. That's how they mechalik, and they explain this. What's this isser? So Mishabura learns that this isser is an isser because it's going to pull out the hair. That's how Mishabura over here in Sivkot and Pei Daled, he sounds like, is the problem over here is he's going to come mishum chashash tlisha. I saw that other achrayim, the Shulchan brings them, they learn it's doim l'boina. They learn that this halacha of making a braid is a halacha that you're not allowed to do some type of a structure in your hair. An example of the structure is a braid. Another example is you make a perfect part. It's like you're being boined, you're making some type of a yoifi, and you're making it a shane, something that you didn't have before, so you created that. That's a shayla. Mishabur doesn't seem to learn like that. Mishabur seems to learn that the only problem of making a braid on Shabbos, the only problem of a braid is boina. Excuse me, the only problem of boina is a braid. Then you want to know about making a part. Shabur sounds like to make the part in the hair, that's not a problem. It's elamite, it's a problem that you might come to do a chashash tlisha. But he's not saying mitzad boina that it would be a problem. Okay, but even if you're going to go like that, if you're going to go and say that Chazal made a gzeira, you're not allowed to make a part because it's going to come to take out hair. It's called chaymer when you're perming the payas. Right? It's different when they go around and around and then you see the hair is flying and everything. So it's just as many hairs, if not more, that come out. So it's a mamana shachid maybe should be nechlal in the yesh oisrim of the Ramah. Either you should be yesh oisrim because it's something that you're not allowed to do things with your hair that cause hair to come out. Or because this is not a Gemara, it's a takana of the afterward, the Rishayim and the Pais. It's not something that it's a Gemara. So once it's not a Gemara, what were they saying? These achrayim, anything that you can do on Shabbos, which is normal that hair comes out. What's an example of something that's normal that hair comes out? It's a normal thing that when a person is going to part his hair comes out. It's even more normal that when a person is going to curl his payas, it's going to come out. So that's one reason why we should perhaps aser. Plus, the Ksaisa Shulchan says that parting your hair on Shabbos is mechsi kebayna because he's learning that braid was lavdafka. Braid is an example. Braid is not mitzad a braid, making the structure of a braid. Braid is an example of something doim l'bayna. What else is doim l'bayna? Any nice structure that you make in your hair, that's also doim l'bayna. Why did Mishabur not learn like that? I was thinking, Bichlal, does anybody know why in the world a braid is doim l'bayna? Why is it? What is bayna about a braid? So I was thinking, and in the same Gemara, it says in the same Paiskim, they say, and if you do it on something talish, like a shaitel, it's not boina, it's oyrik. Now I keep telling you, boina, oyrik, toifer, all these things are somewhat related. These are malachas of making things that were two into one and whatever. Right? There's a lot of relationships in this. Oyrik is you're taking different threads and you're making it into one beged, right? That's also an oyrik. So I was just thinking that it could be just simply that the Mishnah Berurah is learning that, you know why a braid is boina? Because a braid is taka, it's a bunch of building blocks. You put together this and this and this and this, and now you put together this and it becomes a tight structure, which is when you do that in talish, in something that's not attached, that's oyrik. When you do it in something that's attached, that's baina. So Adam is like karka, and they say that's like a baina. If that's the case, so then you understand very well the Mishnah Berurah. Then you understand that there's no makom to say that when you part your hair one side and part your hair to the other side or something, that's a baina. What's a baina? The only thing the Mishnah Berurah could dream of, a baina, is something like a braid. Because then you're making something. Let's see what I just said, what should be by payas? What should be by payas? You're allowed to curl your payas in Shabbos? Let's see what I just said. Mitzad baina. Mitzad baina, it's not baina. Let's see what I just said. So then, it's not baina, free pass to the mikvah. Huh? But it should be, if you this, it should be that it's not baina. Because all you're doing is you're making something nice in your hair. But you didn't do something which is firm and tight and making it into like one shtick. That's l'chayra. And I'm not that that's the Mishnah Berurah's psak. I guess that would be a limitzchus for the Minig Olam. The Marsham in Chesed and Daled, in the end over there, the Tshuva, he doesn't really explain. It could be this is what he means. He doesn't explain. He just says that you could be mekel and you could curl your payas on Shabbos. Maybe this is what he means. Maybe this is what he means, that you need to have like an interlocking structure in order for it to be called a baina. Baina is when you're taking parts and putting them together. Otherwise, it says nish baina. So maybe curling your payas, what's baina about that? I would imagine that's what he means. Imagine. What? Come again? Oh, Elamai, you still have the other problem here of pulling out the hair. The only nafkamina is that I guess there, if you're pulling out the hair, if you're worried about the problem pulling out the hair, that's mefurish over here that if you do it softly and edely, so then that's not going to be a problem because then it's not a secretion, right? In other words, if you're going with the problem of Ramosha Sternbuch and the Kovitz base of the Shevet Levi and the problem of Dayan Padva and the Belzer Rebbe, but if you go with the Chassidish Shapaiskim that it's also to curl your payas on Shabbos, right? No, well, you're laughing. Well, that's what they say, right? If you go with the Chassidish Shapaiskim that they hold it's also to curl your payas on Shabbos, so then it's not going to help to do it, slowly and edely and whatever. If you go with the what am I? If you go with me, so then the Mishnah Berurah. If you go with the Litvish Shapaiskim, you go with the Mishnah Berurah, right? If you go with the Litvish Shapaiskim, then it should come out that you're going to be allowed to curl your payas on Shabbos as long as you're doing it very edel. In other words, let's be mechalik. If you have something that's already made and you're just helping it, could be everyone will agree that's okay, right? But if you have something that's not made and you want to make it, so then lefi the Litvish Shapaiskim, it'll be mutter. But for the Chassidim, Avada, they have to go with the Chassidish Shapaiskim, it's going to be usher. Because l'maisa by them, they have to worry that making this thing, because that's the chakiria. What's the lumdus of a braid? Is a braid an example of a structure in the hair? But any structure, any nice chain of zach in the hair is already considered a baina. And then so too should be a payas. Or maybe the only thing in the world that is considered a baina is a braid, because a braid is an interlocking structure. But that has nothing to do with making a nice curly payas with shaykhs. Why would that be a baina? Elamai, you have another problem. Is that going to consider that something he's going to pull out the hair? So then you have to do it soft and it won't pull out the hair. That's how I would have made the sig. What? I guess the Xera was even like a carved situation or something. But you see, clear, it's not what I'm saying. They say mefurish. If you do it be'etzba, ba'alma, and the place can explain, when you do it softly, I guess you do extra careful or something. I guess the chilik is if it's a, suffix psikresha or carved psikresha, that's state mefurish. It's a good kasha you're asking, but that's what it says. What? So now there's a big raya. Rabbi Lieberman says, from here we're going to have a raya, did Taka from Avinu have payas or not, right? Because why didn't anybody ever discuss the shaila? So the Chassidus, I saw one Chassidish sefer, there's like Chassidish Torah there, I guess. And he writes that, so if no one discussed the shaila, so it must be Zikr Mutter. Zikr Mutter, right? No one ever discussed the shaila, right? I was just thinking, maybe no one discussed the shaila because nobody had long payas. Well, come again? No, his tiny was how come Rashi doesn't talk about it and the Rebbeinu Tam. I mean, the Rambam we all know didn't have payas. The Rambam held you can cut it all off. But I'm saying, sorry? But maybe then it was mushba from the Chassid. Why not? That's not fair. No. What? Yeah, so the picture, that's going to be told you what Chedi sent your kids to. I mean, in the Litvish Chadarim, right, the picture of Avram Avinu is a long payas, right? And the picture of Terach looks like a Litvish Rosh Hashiva, But by us, it's maybe different, but whatever. Right? But family member was once here on Parshas Balak, right? And there's a picture of Bilam, right? Maybe it was my father. He says, "Looks like a regular flatfish balabas." I didn't want to show him what Haman looks like. Okay, upon him, but tachlis, it's the kids are. I don't know. So what's l'maisa? Could you curl your pace in Shabbos? So l'chayra. If you're Chassidish, you probably shouldn't because you have to listen to Chassidish Paiskim. And if you're Litvak, Salachar, you will be allowed to. But there's another shayla. What? Marsham was the Das Torah, is the Bujana. I'm not sure how much Chassidish he was. It depends which tkufa. But Akapanim, Abaisai, just an interesting thought. Abaisai, some Chassidim, they curl the payas not into a curl. They curl it like they make it in like very tight and around and around and around, and then they pack it up and then they put it under the ear dartin like that, right? Does anybody know what I'm talking about or no? What? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? What about that? What about that? So this is very interesting. I saw that Rav Falk, Zechariah Levracha, he has on Goizes that he was bothered by this problem. He was bothered by this. He learns. It's interesting. At first, when I was reading Rav Falk, I didn't understand what he's talking about. This Bechlal doesn't bother me. This is just like what Bechlal Shaykh is to buy. Then I realized, Rav Falk is learning that the whole idea is when you're making a tight structure. You know, when you're making something which is packed and tight and geboit, you know, it's all built and it's all whatever, right? So B'meila, he's bothered by that. He's bothered by that. Now, Maisa, he goes on himself to say Alim Mitzchos, which I got to think is the pashtis, which you have no raya to answer. I still think what we're saying is somewhat true. When you're making an interlocking structure, that is maybe baina. When you're just taking the hair and trying to like get it all around, like a lady trying to get it all the hair in so that she can put it under the shaitel or something like that. So then there's no reason to believe that that's a structure that's being built. The only thing is that I said this today to a Chassidish fellow, and he told me to verstehst nicht. You don't know what they're doing. What? He wasn't just a knip. I am it's like mamish luchas. He told me how you have to go in and out and around and does and that, and he holds it so tight and it has a name also. But it's more than just a name. So there's no Neumann. It's what? Oh, so he told me he doesn't understand why. That's what he told me. He told me he doesn't understand why it wouldn't be kosher. He told me they managed to go in and out and in and out and in and out, and it gets into. So I don't know. What? They're not the one that goes like this. The one that goes and you just put it there behind the ear. What? But they said then it goes in and whatever. What? Let me see. What? Let me see. Wait, I can't see. It's taking him a long time to take out, no? What? It's taking you a very long time to take out, no? What? It's taking you a very long time to take out. What? And now it's out?
It's just curved around itself. You go around it, and you tuck it in.
No, so then if that's the case, then all you're doing is just getting it to be in its place. Well, that's not a braid. A braid, the way we're learning, a braid is an interlocking structure. It's something that holds itself. What? Would this thing hold itself?
Yeah, but not permanently.
What? I don't know. I listen, again, everybody's like, Tachlis. I don't know. Tachlis, I don't see, Rabbi said, I don't see that this is what the Paiskim were talking about. The Paiskim were discussing, the only needin of the Paiskim was when they're discussing curling payas. And that I'm explaining to you what the needin is of curling payas. Because there it's not a structure. Here it seems like it's just a timsa to pack it away and not to build something. I don't know, it's all, there's no real lumdus of trying to make it into a structure. It's just trying to put it all as closely together. And I don't see that that's what the Paiskim were talking about. So therefore, I would have thought that's mutter. But Lamaisa, but wait, sorry? Sorry? What about in the front? No, but that'd be the same thing, and then they curl it. No, but the knip that they curl, it's a real knip? What? Bullets? I don't know, that you should know is more scary to me. That's more scary to me. No, but that you should know, that's more scary because there he's building something to stand and to be strong, not just to put away, and to be at surah and it's strong. And it's strong, yeah. It's what? But where does it say to make it surah is asr? That's what we're trying to figure out. Where does it say to make it surah is asr? the machlekes here is, I was right, it's a sensitive topic. You see what's going on here today, no? The machlekes is, what's the lumdus of a braid? Is the lumdus of a braid that it's a tzura, like Rabbi Leibovitz saying it's a tzura, and therefore any nice tzura, and therefore payas also, right? Or is it that they're making an interlocking structure of something that's strong, that holds itself? And if that's the case, then there's no makom to aser payas that are curly. But maybe there's a makom to aser this knip, especially if it's being done b'dafka, not just to pack away. If you're just packing it away, so then there's no cheshbon. He's just trying to get it in there and get it behind his ear and as tightly fitting as possible. And that's why a lady's allowed to put her hair under a sheitel, and no matter how she wants to make a bun or whatever, to get it in there. But mashenkin, if what she's trying to do is to have a structure and it's a certain surah, so that might be a problem of baina, no? Rabbi Nissim, is this a problem? I said I wasn't going to say names, but is it a problem for you, this, or no? But so I don't know. L'maisa, what's more maybe a problem is probably not Nageya the Chassidish Oilam here at all, or B'kol the world, but that would be the usage of hairspray. Right? That's probably not Nageya you guys at all, but that would be a very serious problem, right? And so Geshmak, how my Litvish Goyim are so mufka from Chassidim that they're not laughing. But Akapana, mamish mufka, they forsake going next dimension. Yeah, but no, because gel the Chassidim know they can't use in Shabbos anyway. So that's a problem of deraisa. To use gel on Shabbos is a problem of mamreach. So that the Olam knows. But so instead, what do some people do? Not the Chassidim, like the really bad ones, like not even the tuna bagel, like bagels with butter. They use hairspray. Hairspray is a very serious problem, because that is a strength, that's strengthening, that's mamish doim l'binyan. Now you're taking that's much worse. There you're taking the hairs and sticking them together. There's my lumdus of an interlocking structure. And this is why the poskim say you're not allowed to use hairspray on Shabbos. You're not allowed to use hairspray on Shabbos. And you certainly can't use hairspray on a sheitel, because that's tikkun mana. That's like doing to a beged. It also is tikkun mana mitzad the smell, it's nice, and mitzad the fact that it gives it a certain strength to it. That would be a tikkun mana, which would anyways be in Mr. Gomer, probably not the rice, probably only the Rabbanan, but that's for sure also. So that's tachlis. This is tachlis. I think we got it all. Yeah, I think I got it all. Schita you wouldn't have by hairspray. What? Yeah, vada. Schita, you have another problem. You have schita also, but schita is a lot of secretions like nichales. That's like the least of the problem. What? Okay, but they don't want it to come out. So it is coming out. Fine, but you don't want it out. It's the exact opposite. So therefore it's great. What? Yeah, we have much more. Yeah. No, I think of all the problems we're talking about, that's elite. They're using hairspray, that's a Nisa Gomer, right? What? Sorry? Come again? Moiled Reyach on your hair is not a problem. That's why you let them use deodorant on Shabbos. Moiled Reyach is a problem on a sheitel, because there it's a beged. The issue of Moiled Reyach in Shulchan Aruch and Siman Taf Kuf Yud Aleph is when you're making a tikkun and the smell of the item. That's the what? Sheitel's not the rice. These things aren't the rice. These tikkun manas, because the beged is a finished beged. You're just adding a benefit to the beged. It's not. It doesn't make sense to us. All right, let me get new sugya. Not new sugya. Let's start the Shulchan Aruch. What? On a what? On a. What's the shayla? What's the cause? I just don't understand the. I understand the words. Hairspray on hair doesn't last. It doesn't. What? You want it to be mutter asa? It's at least it's still drabanan. It goes on for a bit. It does its job for its bit. It's not broke. When you take the cement and you put it on an oven, if you leave it like that, the oven is broken. Mashenkin, if you take the hairspray and put it on the beged, it does its job for the time being. So it's like any time at Shabbos. Good. Yeah, clear. Everybody's clear, right? Kids are, okay, good. Now we go weiter. What would happen? If Moshe would be here tonight, right? What would he do? He'd be going over to every chassid and bells and playing with his hair, right? There's no shy. Or he'd grow on his own. By Motzei Shabbos, he'd have pace. Shiur Gimel, Sif Aleph. Okay, let me get. Okay, now you have the akdamas. And now let's start. Now I must tell you, everybody say. Sif Aleph Beis Gimel Dalid in Shiur Gimel are cases that are extremely not negayah. That means, in other words, the cases of the Shulchan Aruch and the Gemara we don't have. And to apply, it's very difficult simmons, very difficult sugyas, to apply the cases of Shulchan Aruch to Lemaisa. That's our job. That's what we're going to have to do now, Mitzvah Hashem. I'm not going to be going out of sight into the first 4 Sif and Movial, Beis Gimel. I'm assuming now by now the Olam has seen it properly. And now I'm giving you just like a sikum of the parts that we need in order to dan the Shailas Lemaisa. Okay, so I hope by now I'm mistaken. The Olam has gone through Aleph Beis Gimel Dal. You're in the sugyas of Shin Gimel with all these Pkak Cholins and whatever. Now I'm going to just, for the first part of the shiur today is just going to be to Pashut, make a sikum of what came out of the Gemara. And then from there, to bridge the gap, how does that apply Halacha L'maisa to our things that we have? What the sugya over here is based on is there are a lot, Chazal made a lot of Rabbanans over here. They made a lot of Dinei Rabbanans and Tekanas of things that look like Boina. There are things that they, look like Boina Bekarka. There's a lot of different things here which are not real Binyan Bekarka. For example, to take the door off its hinges and to put it back on, that's real Binyan Bekarka. Then they have things, Chazal came along and said that thing is remaining on the wall for too long. That makes it look like you've built a wall over here. And then there's all different ways that Chazal came along and said that if it looks like this, it doesn't look like it's a part of the structure. It looks like it's something that's meant to be taken on and off. Once it'll be looking like something that's meant to be taken on and off, so then we're not going to see it anymore as a part of the structure. That's just that's what's going on over here in the Shulchan Aruch, what you're about to see. The case of the Shulchan Aruch, and these other Gemaras, a lot of Gemaras about this, is the Pkaka Cholin. The Pkaka Cholin is this case is some type of what's the English word for a pkak? A cork, but not really, right? It's some type of a piece of wood. There's some type of a piece of wood that they would just put in the hole in the wall, basically. And that was their makeshift window. And they would take it in and out. Now, sometimes the actual pkak, the actual makeshift piece of wood that it was, just basically just very much fit in there. And it really looked like wool. And the only reason why maybe it's not considered wool is because it's not meant to last. So we don't really see it. But this was something that concerned Chazal, that maybe it looks enough like it. And they made their abundance over here. Most of the cases that from this point that in the Shulchan Aruch are not their ices. Most of these things are their abundance. But let's see. That's a little bit of Akadam over here. So now again, I'm going to read Shulchan Aruch and I'm going to take out the ikar things that we need and then we'll go to Halacha L'maisa. So the Shulchan Aruch says, Pkaka Cholin. If you have this window stopper, Kigain, like a luach, like a piece of wood, I don't know, a sharko davar shesais min cholin, or you have something that you plug up the wall. So the Shulchan Aruch says, so it's yachal esais, you're allowed to put this in on Shabbos. You're allowed to put it in on Shabbos. And afilu emeino kasher. Lo mevay if it has like a rope and it's attached by a rope. So then you see it's meant to come in, to come out, and everyone understands that that's not considered you built something into the wall because you see the string, which you realize it means that it's like a door. It's a door, even without a rope. This is all Gemaras. Everything you're reading here are machlekes and the sugyas and rishonim and tanoim and everything. Vafilu emeino kasher. And it does even if it's not tight. I'm reading David Kemoisef Alabinian. It's very dikazach when you learn Shulchan Aruch, right? The Shulchan Aruch assumed that you had all these akadamas and you knew everything. The Shulchan Aruch starts and says, when you put this thing into the window, you're not like a Moisef Alabinian, even if it's not tied. We don't consider it to be as if you're building in the window now. We consider it to be just like something that's made to come in and out. We don't see it as becoming one. And it's not a Moisef Alabinian. What's Moisef Alabinian? Like if we were writing Shulchan Aruch, we would have started like this, there's something called Baina. Shulchan Aruch doesn't start like that. We've been learning Baina now for the last 3-4 shiurim, right? There's something called Baina. And Baina means not only just to take cement and bricks and whatever, okay? And not only that, even once I have a structure, I'm not allowed to build and be moistif onto the structure. If there's a window, I'm not allowed to plug it up in a way where it'll be plugged up forever because that becomes the wall. Shulchan Aruch assumes you know all that. Shulchan Aruch assumes. So Shulchan Aruch says, this is not a moisif ala binyan. And now the Shulchan Aruch says a few t'nayim. First he says, olav mi erev Shabbos l'saismai. This is only going to work is if you had this piece of wood. There was a piece of wood there. It's not tied. It's only if you thought about using this piece of wood on erev Shabbos and plugging up the hole. Only if you thought about using the wood. If you didn't think about using the wood, so then not. Why not? Why not? What's the problem? So let's go one by one. The first thing that the Rishonim are all busy with over here is, what's this thing that I have to be mechashiv it before Shabbos? I have to be, I have to set it aside before Shabbos. So this itself is a world war. Some learn that we're talking about because it's a problem of muksa, that's why a lot of the Rishonim learn this is the Hemshech, the Shulchan Aruch is right after the Sugi of muksa. Because, you have to, if you just take a piece of wood, then for sure you have a problem. It's a problem of muksa. Others learn, no, if it's not misukin, then it's be'emes a problem of actually building on Shabbos. You're taking a building. If you had something you set aside, so then you set it aside to open, to close. We don't see it as becoming one. Look in the Bir Halacha, in Dibra Maschel, Me'erev Shabbos. He's got a whole need in here. Kevan dechinu, it's not muksa. He says, aval binyan? There's no question. It has nothing to do with binyan. So says the Bach. So says the Pri Megadim. And then he says, he goes on at the end. He says, v'kein mashman the Rosh. He says, he brings all these shitas. The Gra says not like this. Time of the Shulchan Aruch is a problem of moisif ala binyan. So this itself is a fight. What's the reason why I have to set aside this plank before Shabbos? Either because I have to get out of the problem of Oksa, or because I got to get out of the problem of Boina. If you didn't, this is one fight. Okay. Next fight is the Shulchan Aruch seems to say it's enough just v'hu sheyachshoy v'alav. It's enough just to think about it. If I think about it, that's enough. There's also a machlekes. There's also Shulchan Aruch say paskins. It's only. Some say no. You have to do a ma'isa. No, Shulchan Aruch says it's enough just to have thought about it before Shabbos. Mishabur Sivkat and Gimel. He says, you know what else you should know? Even if you didn't think about it, he says, aval davar shein. Excuse me. He said, if you used it one time, you don't even have to think about it. So it sounds like everything's going to be so easy, right? So if you have a piece of wood that you used once to plug up the window, so then it sounds like that, Shall I give you an example to make it a little bit more normal? They have this corrugated plastic, polygal it's called. What do the Americans call it? Corrugated plastic, right? It looks like cardboard, but it has cardboard has like that thing, but it's plastic. So imagine plastic cardboard, right? They play with it in the gans. What? For Pesach, right? For Pesach, that's what you cover with, right? So I told you to do that. Right? I was the one that told you to do that. So I told you to cover with that. So the kids are that stuff. Let's say where's it Negea? Where's it Negea? So sometimes you have like this. You have what? No. So let's say sometimes you have in the winter. In the window, you used to have like an air conditioning. Especially in the deers, and all the deer, the Bachram deer is all like this, right? They find like an air conditioning downstairs. It doesn't matter that the thing is broken, it's blowing heat, but it's like psychological and whatever. So in the summertime, he needs an air conditioner. We'll talk about that in a moment. So there was a Bachar who once asked me this question. He said that it came on Shabbos. And it was taka. The summertime was over. It's already the winter, and it was the wind and everything was coming through and this and that, right? So he had one kasha. One kasha was they allowed to pick up that air conditioning on Shabbos and take it out of the window, right? So one of them, the old Bachar svaras, so one of them said, "Look, it's a klish machtal yeser." What do you think? What? Is that what is it? I think it's the kind of thing you're very careful not to move. I don't know, because it's very fragile and you're very careful. Not just because it's heavy. It's like you're very careful not to move. I thought it would be chasar and kiss. What? I think so, but then why? Just because to them it's chashiv. I don't know. They don't move it. They're very careful not to move it. I don't know. I'm not sure. I would have thought to move an air conditioning on Shabbos chasar and kiss. So I would thought. And then what did they want to do? So they wanted to take a piece of cardboard, not polygal. Polygal is already for a little bit more advanced avrech. It's got already an avrech bag. Right? But the Balkar, he doesn't have that. So he was going to take like a piece of cardboard and he was just going to put it in the window. There's no window. I'm sorry, I didn't explain. There's no window. There's like a hole that they cut out to put in the wall to put the air conditioning there. And they didn't realize afterward it might be a shtickle bayah. But anyways, so now they want to know, could they put a piece of cardboard there? And that cardboard could stay there the whole entire winter. That cardboard could stay there all the winter. So first of all, that's mamish l'chayr this shayla. That's this shayla. That's a shayla. So let's see. If it was, it's certainly not tied, right? The Bacham don't know how to do that. And it wasn't Yachshav Alav Erev Shabbos. If it would have been that on Erev Shabbos, they would have come up with this incredible Einfeld and they would have put it in on Erev Shabbos, that would be enough. You hear this? That'd be enough. We'll see. Not Pashit at all. Not Pashit at all. We'll see. It's not Pashit. But that's at least an application that it could be normal for us. What's a Pekak Cholin in our world? So now it'll come out Lefides that if the Balcha tells you, I didn't tie it before Shabbos, but I thought about using it before Shabbos. I thought about using this cardboard before Shabbos. So then that's this halacha that seems to say that this is mutter. And if you actually used it on Erev Shabbos, so then it's mutter. Okay, so that's it. So now it's simple. So the Bachrim, and that's what they did. They just asked afterward if they did the right thing. Right? So did they do the right thing? If you're reading Shulchan Aruch, what do you guys say? What? What's the Bir Halachos of Aleph? Dibra Maskol, Loy. That's already the hint. Loy. They did the wrong thing. Why? Comes again the Biur Halacha, and right away he says, Ayin Mishnah. This is so interesting. It has like bold print on only parts of the Mishnah. What are they? What's the shot? That these are the important parts. That's so interesting. Oh wow! You mean I don't have to read anything else? All these years. Ayin Mishnah. He underlines the part that I would have underlined. Let's say you're putting it there and it's only meant to be there and it's going to be there. It's not going to be opened. It's going to remain like that for a very long time. What's a long time? Anybody know? What's a long time? Mishabur also says it. No? Why'd you say just to be a lot? Mishabur also says it. Mishabur also says it. No? Sivkan Bezi doesn't say it. Darkoi lekach. It's got to be Ayin Biur Halacha. It says it's got to be something that's made to be taken in and out. Now, first of all, this thing is definitely not made to be taken in and out Talmud, right? So for the Bochum to do this on Shabbos, it's like a jackpot. You know, you ever think, where are you going to get this case, right? That these Bochum, you could think of Bochum, right? This is the case. Where do you ever have a case that you're going to be over on a Pkak Chaloin on Shabbos? Because we don't even have these things. No, this is the case. He took out the air conditioner over on Chazar and Kiss. He puts in this piece of cardboard, which is going to stay there for a very long time, and it's going to serve the wall, a job as a wall, and it's certainly not coming in and out. This is l'chayra in Isser, not the Raisa. Stama, it's only in Isser Rabbanan. Derech Agav, how long is Tadir? Sorry? Why Soiser? It's interesting. He's saying the air conditioning maybe, it's interesting. I didn't even think about that. That's so interesting. What? So interesting. He's saying he's not over on Muksa, he's over on Seiser, because the air conditioning was a part now of the structure. No, I'm saying that I'm like, that's also true. Okay, but that's interesting. I'm not sure if you're right. I'm not sure if you're right. Maybe something that's a kli. We'll have to see when something is a kli, but it's a kli that's made to be a part of the character, basically. All right. So, all right, Shiloh, let me think about it. I'm not sure if you're right. Sorry. Just one moment. Sorry, Rabbi Fulda, but Al Kapanim, it comes out. If you take out this air conditioning on Shabbos, I don't know, Saiser, I don't know, Muksa, but Yizichar, you know, what's enough for me? 500 Jubur and 600 Jubroil, he's there. But now, after you take out the air conditioning, and now you put inside this polygol or whatever, so that's not coming out. It's comes again Biur Halacha and Siv Gimel. He says, what's it? The Mitzadeh, the Pesach, also the kind of Pachas Mishleishim Yoim is already. Is this thing going to be opened within 30 days? No, it's going to be there for the winter. So for sure, this is a problem. What do you want to say about Fulda? Oh, okay. So he says you don't have to come onto like a weird bacher and whatever. Right? What happens if the window smashes? You don't have to make a novin. What you have to bring in a novin for? What's time the window smashes? What? You done with he was trying to help you. Whatever, you know. So the window smashed, and this person tells you, no, I was really just trying to help you out. Whatever. So now you have a smashed window. So and I told you the other day, what are you not allowed to do when you have a smashed window? I told you certainly can't kick out the glass because now you're being over on Seiser, which maybe is even al manas livno is been koimai and whatever is geferlich, right? And even though it comes out, it's not really attached by cement. It doesn't matter. That was an example. So what do you want to do? You want to put over there a piece of cardboard to block the window. So now, but that's not going to remain. Huh? Sorry. What's Me'er Shabbos? So first of all, he didn't set it aside Me'er Shabbos. What? So it broke Friday afternoon and you put it there already. And then on Shabbos it fell off and you got nervous because you saw the jagged edge, right? So now it fell off. So now it was set aside Erev Shabbos, you used it once. And it's not something which is going to remain. You're certainly not going to leave it there. Sorry? The only thing is here, it's not the same. Rabbi Leibovitz is saying very good. It's not like the whole lumdus of a pkak chaloin is this is going to be your window, right? This is going to be your window. It's going to be opened and closed, right? Here, it's true it's going to come off because I'm going to build a window on Sunday, but it's not the lumdus that it's you see it as something that's not remaining. This is the window now. This has become the window. And when I decide to fix the window, I will make a new window. So I don't know. It could be Rabbi Leibovitz is right. This is not so pasha to me. The Grata, what she do? Let's see. I haven't finished the sugya. Let's see. What? Yeah, we're going to see. So right away, so Rabbi Lieberman says, so what are you supposed to do? So Mishabura gives an eighth over here in Sivkat and Gimel. Mishabura says that, where is the Sivkat and Gimel, I think, right? Mishabura says, well, what if you have something that's not the derech to leave there? What's an example? A beged. You want to take, you'll take like an undershirt or something, right? He says, Vida, that's only if you're not using something. Let's say you have something that's not the derech to leave forever. Kigoin a beged. So then it's mutter to plug it up. It's mutter to plug it up. So I once had an interesting shaila with I said this story with the air conditioning someplace. I said by Bachram. So there's a Bachram there. He asked me. I said, okay, that's what it says. If you want to take a shmata and put it there, a pillow and put it there, or something like that, so everyone realizes it's not going to remain. So that's mutter. You don't see it as one with the karka. That would be the eitzah, bishtek leitzah. But sorry. No, cardboard is something that could remain. That's not true. Half of Yerushalayim is built on cardboard. And the other half is not built. But al kaponim, it's no. So I said this. It's great to give shiur to Bacher because then then the Avreichim can sit and laugh when you hear the stories. But the Bacher says like this. He says, so he has like an air conditioning in his room. They have an air conditioning, and there's a part of the air conditioner that doesn't quite fit, right? It doesn't quite fit in between the air conditioning and the window. You know how it is, right? So he says, so they put there a sleeping bag. They put there a sleeping, it could be anything, a pillow, whatever. But they put there a sleeping bag and it plugs it up, right? And he said it's been there mamish for like a very long time. He said there was one time Shabbos, there was a bacher that came to sleep in the dira and they didn't have a blanket for him or whatever, right? So it's like he's an Einikol from Avinu. Right. So what would Avram Avinu do? Avram Avinu would have given his blanket, right? But what did this Avram Avinu do? So he says, "Mamish Gevaldik," and they took out the what's it called? They took out the sleeping bag, and the air conditioning fell. And that's why he was telling me the story because he said, so we're not going to be allowed on Shabbos to pick up the air conditioning because it would be a chesar kes. I told them, but wait a minute, you're not allowed to take out the sleeping bag. You're not allowed to take out the sleeping bag. What? That sleeping bed's been there for years. How does it work? If you have something that the Mishabur says the derech is to not leave it there, right? But let's say let's go in order. Let's say you plan on leaving it there, okay? Let's go back to my air conditioning case or they take it out and they want to plug it up with pillows. If they don't have cardboard or whatever, why should they waste good cardboard, right? So they put pillows in the window and they plan on leaving it there the whole entire winter. Is that allowed? Mishabur says it's something like a beged that the elul if shaki going beged, then it's mutter because it's ain derech levatloi. But let's say you first think you are going to leave it there. I didn't find a remiss to this shaila. What do you guys say? And then the nafkamina is the other way when you want to take out the sleeping bag, on Shabbos. What? What? For sure. These halachas are beinless. I said beinless. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shakol niyeh b'dvaroi. What? I know, but that doesn't bother me because then I could say the same thing. If he's going to need the cardboard, it's a bacher. You might need the cardboard to sleep on also. No, my point is, I have a new shayla. Am I allowed to put something there which is not the derech, right? And therefore, it's even if you plan on putting it in for a long time, but it's not something that becomes one with the karka. Do I say no? It's all dependent on your das. If you plan on leaving it there, meaning the other way is not going to be a kula. If I put a piece of polygal there and I don't plan on keeping it there, like Rabbi Leibovich said, so that won't create a kula because its surah is not a surah of something that comes in and out. But let's say the other direction, could it be a chumrah? That if I plan on leaving it there like a beged, so then, I don't know, what? Sorry? Yes, it's interesting. He said the Gemara in Sukkah talks about when you want to be mamayit the chalala sukkah and whatever. So the Gemara says if you're talking about things like pillows, it's not the derech to leave it there. Okay, but what if the guy says first, I am leaving it here forever? That you have to know what the pshat in that Gemara in Sukkah is. I'm not sure. What? Okay, but maybe Taka would maybe. Sorry, the tzad to say that it would be mutter is that all these things are derabbanans anyways. They don't seem to be deraisis, and we're trying to figure out is this a doimel opinion? So maybe it's bichlal, not a doimel opinion. That would be the tzad to say it's mutter. I saw somebody when I had this shaila, I don't know where the shaila came first, but I had this shaila and I spoke about it one place, and then somebody showed me afterward that they asked this question for Berkowitz, and he said it's usher. I said at the time it's mutter. I don't know. I can hear both ways. I think it's mutter because of the svara that we just said that it's doime lebayin is das nicht. It's just nicht. It's not doima l'bayna because a pillow is not something that's doima l'bayna. So I don't care that you have this weird das that you plan. What if they decide, like, you know, we don't have anything to put in the window, let's put there a bacher. You know, like we'll leave them there. You know, anyways, it doesn't come to first Seder, second Seder. You know, it's time a waste of taxpayers' money. So just leave them there. You know. So I don't know. Doesn't sound right. Okay, but the Akapanim das is number one. Come again? You just made it very heavy in here. Let's talk about, like, you know, nicer stories. You know, but I don't know. Let me think about it. Greta, don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. This has nothing to do with the window shaila that you all realize, right? Mishabur, look at. I ask you to turn for a second to Mishabur Simon Ches. The price can all bring it over here. I love you. Don't worry. In Shin Ches, you've got in Lamites. Mishabur brings u'mechayiv mishim bayna. Listen to this. Imkain. If you have a window that's on the track and you just take it in and out, so Mishabur brings over here, and then Siv Katan Lamed Hey also, the Mishabur brings it. He says, if you have a window, chaloinis, even though they come right in and out, Mishabur says that you're not even allowed to take it out, even a goy, because it's deraisa. Even a goy, that has nothing to do with our sugya. I just want to make that very abundantly clear. Now, what? Why not? Because the window's not made to take in and out. Regular, you know, those, everyone knows what I'm talking about. In centers, we had it when we were in the yeshiva over there. You remember what I'm talking about, right? Those windows, right? What? You used to lift it and take it out. You know what I'm talking about? No, not with this over here where it's on a hinge. It's on the track. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, right? Just lift it up and you take it out. Those are not, the reason why they make it like that is obviously to enable you to be able to clean it and this and that and to be able to have the easy release. But it's not made to be taken in and out. And that's not doim l'bayna. That's boina mamish deraisa. No games, right? Now, just tell you, I don't know. I saw that Nissen Kaplan's, he has a sefer on boina. He has a sefer on boina, on Parka boina. In the back of that sefer, he has like a halacha section. And it's called Dinei Binyan HaMetzuyin, the normal Dinei. The Maisa, you can't find it anymore. And he reprinted, you know what I'm talking about? And the one that he reprinted, he didn't preprint it with the halachas. I guess too many nudniks like me were causing trouble with the question I'm about to ask and whatever. But he now you can't get it anymore. You can't. So in my house, I still have one. Now you can't get it with the halacha section. You can only get it with the lumdas. So there, I don't know. He said something very difficult in the 31st. What I write here? I wrote Lamed Aleph. I guess Sif Lamed Aleph. Ha'ara 63. Again, it's possible. I tried to call him today. I didn't get through, but it's possible that maybe I just didn't understand what the case is. He talks about these double windows. Now, when I think of double windows, I think of these storm windows. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Like in America, they have like a double window. You know what I'm talking about? Well, no, not shutters. It means like two windows. Double pane glass. It means like a double pane of glass, right? You know. So he writes over there that you're allowed to take one out on Shabbos. Now, it can't be the thing I'm thinking of, because the thing I'm thinking of is something that stays for the whole entire winter, and then you take it out for the summer. So that's zikr, nothing to do with our sugya, and has nothing to do. I don't know what he's talking about, but because either way it's written there, it's. I don't want to say it's incorrect, but it's incorrect. It's time beer. I don't know. No, he must be talking about something else. Now, for example, Rebelsky, Zechat Tzadik Levracha, in his Sefer in Ches Beis in the Shulchan HaLevi, so he says a good example of this, which is very negaya. Again, the winter, the summer, you know how these things go, right? This time around, it's negaya in the summer, right? There's a lot of flies out there. You'll notice there's like flies everywhere, right? All over, right? So I noticed it today. So I have a screen. And I noticed it today. So I put the screen in the window today. And that's a very good example. A screen is something that you put there. Everyone knows it has like a track and it sits there. And it's the easiest thing well, it's not the easiest thing, but you know what I mean. But if you're very athletic, you know how to get it in or whatever. But once you get it in, it's not like, it's an easy thing to get out. Yeah, it's easy to get out. Okay, it's not easy to get in, but it's easy to get out. So nice, but this thing stays forever for the first 6 months. For the next 6 months, it's going to stay. To do that on Shabbos, chayiv misa. Very chayiv misa. No games, right? And Rebelsky says that example. That's his example, right? Sorry? Come again? It's Zikr has a Surah's opinion on it. It's something that people do. What? If you do it every day, I'm chayshish, it might be the Rabbanan, not the right. I don't know. I know. Another thing, look at this. They have these like tris boxes. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. There's the tris that goes in, right? And then there's that like structure that juts out. We don't have one over here, but it looks like the air conditioning. Like the tris goes into it, right? Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. But it's called the tris box. Yeah. So it goes in there. Now that tris box. So a lot of times it's screwed in mamish, right? Okay. Obviously you can't screw and unscrew on Shabbat. That goes without saying. Okay. But sometimes it's not screwed in. I have one inside of my room. It's in the side. It has just these little flugidi. What do they call those? Little like zachers. What are they called in Yiddish? What? Zachers. The zachers. Yeah. The zachers that go. No, fruki's the thing in the belly button. What are you talking about? The zachers that go up and they block it in place, right? Just go like this, right? So it's the easiest thing in the world. All you have to do is go down like that. You just pull it down, and then you have to you wedge it out a little bit. Now sometimes it gets painted. Yeah. I think you want to paint it. Sometimes it gets painted and paints on, and that's for sure. Boina deraisa, no, not even a question, right? Because now it becomes one with the car. But the first time you realize it and you just chisel it through, so then you just stup it back in, and it becomes that is your wall. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? That becomes your wall, right? Sometimes you don't even have those fancy zachers that block the thing. It stays, right? It stays. Some people a little less brave. They're afraid it's going to fall on them while they're singing Baruch Elyon or whatever. So they put the thing there and it blocks it. To take that off on Shabbos, I think it's Chayiv Misa. I don't know if that's this Shiloh. To take off the tris box on Shabbos. Why would he take off a tris box on Shabbos? Why would he take off a tris box on Shabbos, right? What? No, so I'll tell you a story. Why? Birds. It's a tris in there, right? So why would he take off a tris box? No, but you agree it's Chayiv Misa. It's not something the reason they make it like that is to have an easy access, right? So that you should be able to open it. Obviously, that it shouldn't, what? I don't think this is what? The Biur Halachas D'Rabbanan case, I don't think is this, because this has a surah of the karka. The Biur Halachas case is when nach alts, a pkat kaloin, is not something, this is something is like, this becomes the wall. The Biur Halachas case is probably something more like I'm talking about, like taking a piece of wood that doesn't have a surah b'chlal, that it belongs as the wall, or taking a piece of cardboard, which is not the same surah and the same structure. It's a little bit different. Here, this is the plaster of the wall. Does everyone understand what I'm talking about? I think this would even be the rice. I see a lot of places can take on like that. What? Just a moment. What? It's noticeable, it's a tris box, but they made it in a way where it should stim and become the wall of this area, just that it has an easy access to get in and out. It's the same idea as the window, that the window is not something that is made to be taken in and out. It's just that you'll do it to clean, you might do it if it's really hot or whatever. Here, it's not doing it to a pkat chaloin, that a pkat chaloin is something which is clearly meant to not have the same, not meant, but the Metzias is not the same surah as the rest of the wall. It's a piece of wood that's just being used as a window, which you're going to let air in and out. And even there, we're not so happy about it if it wasn't prepared before Shabbos and blah, blah, blah. But here, screw it, deraisa, yeah, for sure. A screen, I think, is deraisa. I think Rabelsky says deraisa, and I think so also. Yeah. Screen's deraisa. But no, because by the window, that is the structure that you have in front of windows, right? Every place has its type of surah, right? So a screen is something that could last for 6 months. A pkat chaloin is something, because of its inherent surah, that's not the type of thing a person's going to be going in, is going to be going out. It's something you're going to take on and off. Sorry? So yeah, it's just a piece, and it doesn't really fit in. Yeah, so then that we'll have to talk about. Pashas, that's not this. Pashas, that's not this. It's got to have some type, is that what you mean maybe? I'm talking about more where it fits into the track and kadayma. So wait, so the Rabbi said, so where could you have, oh my goodness, 4:54? What? Okay, the Chassidim with the pace. Man. All right, I have 30 seconds, it says here. 1 minute. That's mamish, time is going very fast, no? Mamish nothing, no? Kitzer, so where could you have a case on Shabbos? Who's opening their tris on Shabbos? Is anybody opening their tris on Shabbos? So I had 2 maisim. One maisa, that's why it was funny that you said that. One maisa was somebody once knocked on my door, and there was a bird in the tris box. Wait, but that's not why he knocked on the door. He knocked on the door because he wanted to know, is he allowed on Shabbos to do shaluach hakan? Right? He knew that there's a bird in there. Kanir, this is one of the places that they hang out and whatever. He wanted to know, right? So his shaila was is he going to be allowed to do shaluach hakan on, right? I asked him, how do you know that there's a bird in there? He said, I heard the noise and whatever, so I opened it up. Right? So now it's already a shiloh for mitzvah b'avera came out, right? So the first thing you have to know is you're never allowed on Shabbos, even if you hear birds in there. As a matter of fact, if there's a bird in there, leave him in there. Right? Why would you open up? But that was one case. That's why there's a Pella that you said that. What? Sorry? Yeah, the problem also, well, you can't do Shluch HaKan because you have Muktzah and you have this and you have that, and you also have Al Pi Kabbalah, you can't, and whatever, and you might have a problem with Satan. Anyways, but the other time I got a Shiloh was a lot more normal Shiloh. Somebody's wife was having a baby. So, no, it's Mamashik fell the Gemaisa. Someone's wife is having a baby, and he doesn't have a safe. Come on, he doesn't have a safe. So what's his safe? His safe is the tris box. No, but now you know. But I didn't say who it was. Right? So he didn't say who it was. But his safe was the tris box. So he told me he's got inside the tris box. He's got his wallet and the pad. All the things like not that. All the things that they need. Whatever. They're all in the tris box, right? And his wife, the water just broke. So he wants to know, is he allowed on Shabbos to what would you say, is it Shiloh? That's a Shiloh of Deraisa. What? Okay, listen. It's not B'kuach Nefesh. He'll somehow, they're not going to say, as Israeli as they are, they're not going to, lo, slicha. Right? Kol hamayim, lo. Right? They'll bring a sponge and stick. Not like that. It's not like they can. We'll figure it out after. It's much more convenient if you can go with his wallet, and obviously it's going to make life a lot easier and whatever and things like that. What? He could. No, I'm saying we'll allow mitzad the muksa, mitzad that. That's enough to be. The matziv that she's in now warrants necessity. We'll tell him to move it till to Menatzad or whatever. But we have a bigger shayla to get the wallet. How's he going to be allowed to open up the tris box? That's a shayla of deraisa for something which isn't 100% necessary. What? Oh, so this got very complicated. I'm like, this is really not a good shayla time to don this shayla right now, But this is a very complicated shayla because he uses, he puts his wallet in there. Like Bishlamov, he would be a safe and he goes there like every 40 days or something like that. So then right there, it's a deraisa. Right the deraisa. What? Because it's something that has its surah that of such a nature that doesn't look like something that you open up all the time. What? So hidden doors, all right, we're going to have to talk about this. All right, it's late. We'll have to talk about this. That we didn't get to. Siv Gimel and Dalit is where it talks about a hidden door. That we'll talk about tomorrow. We'll get there tomorrow. All right, we'll get there tomorrow. Wait, Rabbi said just one kuda. I'll say it to everybody here. Just, we're going to try to, Bez Hashem, we're going to try Lila Nishmasai. We're going to try to finish Shas. So, Maisa, we're going to give out like, what? Shas Gemara. Yeah, Shas Pavli. Yeah. You say another word, it'll be Yushalmi. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna try to finish Shas. We're going to finish Shas, Bez Hashem. And so everybody will take, what is it? And whichever dafim nobody wants, I'll take it. It's what's the hardest dafim in Shas? I think Chulin or Varaitiv, I think is the hardest. The leather and the gravy. I think that's the hardest parak in Shas. I'll take that. Rabbi will take the other one. But don't worry about the hard ones. Everybody take the whole Shas, and we'll put out like a spreadsheet. And also the guys that watch on TV, Sroli and all you guys, you're in this too. Micha and Danny and all you guys, right? Gershon Buki looks like he's 4 years old. So I guess he's not in this, but the kids are, everybody's in this. Everybody's in this. We'll finish Shas. Should we do it by the Shleishim? That's only Shas. What? The Shiv is over right. What about the Shleishim? You think we can do it by the Shleishim? I don't see why not. We can put both colors together and everybody will do 20 blocks and we can do it. Why not? You can't do 20 blocks. Take one shot. What's friends? Should we try for the Shleishim or it's no? What? Okay, but then you have to really learn it. I'm asking him to a year. I'll be asking him to the yard site. It has to be that you really learn it. Those blocks that you take, you have to really learn. That's the nafkamina. I'm not saying you have to learn it with all the Rebbe Akers and whatever, right? But you have to know it. You have to know those. If we have like between the two koilim, there's about 120 guys, I think. So 100 something guys. So Mela, it's mamish, not a lot. It's like 25 blocks or something like that. And there are some of the other places they'll finish shots from. But this will be from our koilim, right? But you got those 25 blocks, whatever it is, learn good learn them, right? That's the okay. So we'll give out. What are you going to do? You're going to give out a paper and we'll put it on. We'll put it online. What? Yeah. The best strategy? Okay, so I'll take chulin. I opened my mouth. I said, or if I write this, I'm taking chulin. So those 142 blot are mine. Seder, Shluch HaKan, we just spoke about. Okay? Those are mine. Seder? Okay, you guys can take the rest.
I really want to do some cooling.
What?
I really want to do some cooling.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, for Seder anyway.
Wait, Duvi wants chulin.
Not the whole cooling. I'm really ready for nice.
Duvi?